Are we live yet? Are we going to be live? Oh, here we go. All right, Henry McClure live. Just a recap of last night's city council, a little more serious than the Blackwell statements about fashion. Hey, first, Chad Fay's going to be on the show 6 o'clock Friday night. I know we got a hot Friday night here on Henry McClure Live. Chad will be running for mayor. I'm encouraging him to get in contact with Linnell and Phyllis at the Republican office. I think Chad's a Make America Great guy, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got to say, and I'm really enthused that we've got another mayor candidate. There may be more. You never know. There may be more today. So look, let's talk about the KORA request, the Kansas Open Records Act request, and let's talk in all seriousness about it, because as a voter, now it's up to you guys to decide. I think I'm pointing out some discrepancies. I think that the answer I got from the county counselor's office is sophistry. I think the public. So first and foremost, you can walk down today and change an LLC. You can be sitting in a conference room and give your shares of an LLC to another guy, then you hand it to the registered agent, and you're not in the deal anymore. That's just how easy it is to change who is in an LLC. So Karen Hiller says to me, when I want to know who's in the LLC asking for $9.5 million, Karen says, well, you can go to the Secretary of State's office and look who's registered. That's bullshit, Karen. You don't know what you're talking about. You can't go to it because it doesn't say who owns it. It might say who, it doesn't list the members, and it may tell you who the registered agent is, but it doesn't tell you who is involved with the LLC. And why can't the public know who's in an LLC if we're going to give him $9.5 million? And this whole thing, the whole thing over the years of these secret meetings and the code names, it's all sophistry, because you got to remember that the people that are on the board of directors and people that are part of the chamber, they know who's on it. If you believe that, you're probably vaccinated. And that's been the whole sham for me all along of why Go Topeka and the Chamber and the Greater Topeka Partnership, they're basically in the commercial real estate business. And what they do is they want to siphon off, they know all the deals, and then this guy over here becomes the architect, and this guy's the engineer. And so what they do, as long as the Chamber and the Greater Topeka Partnership know all the information, they can, their members are the ones that become the consultants, the designers, the contractors. And so with the NGOs deciding where taxpayer dollars are being funneled, but here's the thing. Here, let's just stop everything for a second. Because if you use TIF and you use CID and you use RHID, that's all developers need. That's all we need in our tool basket. But we don't need a guy like Jeff White at Columbia Capital determining our rate of return. Look, all we should have to do as developers is follow state law. And we got too many chefs in the kitchen around here. Last night, the most beautiful project for Topeka, because the guy who owns that land, he's never going to do anything with it. And He doesn't know how to do stuff. He's an accountant. He's a bean counter. He ain't a deal maker. So the fact that that deal got done last night, and I'm sorry if you think it was off-putting that sometimes you got to make the deal. Hell, I've had deals that the planning commission turned down, staff didn't recommend, and I've gotten it approved through city council. Because we shouldn't have to go along just because Jeff White says that. And the whole thing with Jeff White, it's another consultant, and I'm going to do a KORA request. I want to know how much Jeff White at Columbia Capital has been siphoning off over the years. We've had to, I remember clear back in College Hill, we had to click our heels for that guy. And I don't like the fact that one consultant is always getting all the deals. But here's the thing, the model that he was telling the council was not real. In order to get the tax credits that they got, they're prohibited from selling the property. And then Jeff White at Columbia Capital, his modeling, the financial modeling, had a 10-year sale, and that screws the whole deal up. So there's a lot of stuff that we need to do different in this town, and so the whole deal with the KORA request is, look, if they're not answering to me, they're not answering to you. And you guys are going to have to stand up and say, well, wait a minute. Why are we giving the owner of that building, $9.5 million? You know, at face value, it shouldn't pass the Molly Howie test of this is her smugly responding to anything. Well, that doesn't create jobs. That doesn't create jobs, Henry. That doesn't create jobs. The signing a lease and giving a guy a construction allowance doesn't create jobs. Oh, well, wait a minute. What about the contractor? What about the $6.5 million and the materials and everything? And I mean, I'd argue that, well, that does create jobs. But what they're doing is they're just giving money to a guy that I'm assuming is part of the chamber, Greater Topeka Partnership, and a donor to Go Topeka. So let's say, for argument's sake, since Cody Foster and AIM Properties is on the IRB, which Ms. Trimlow, you're wrong in the fact that you've got what they got the IRB for, and the project they're doing today is apples and oranges. And I appreciate your getting me that email, and I'll look at your site that the state has. But currently, the property, the old AT&T property, is getting tax relief at a rate not concurrent with other commercial buildings in town, and they've gotten that since the IRB was issued. But so what I want you guys to go around is ask Cody Foster if he's in that deal, and why does Cody Foster deserve $9.5 million? And you should ask your elected officials of, why is Rich Eckert treating the public this way? So what about Cody Foster and his donations to the chamber, Go Topeka, and the Greater Topeka Partnership, and downtown Topeka, whatever? It's funny. I followed his tweet today on X, and it was from the Caesar, Marcus Aurelius, about the information that you let into your mind. And so that really brings up an interesting point of who's telling the truth about Jetto, who's telling the truth about the city council, who's telling the truth about the county commission. Who is? WIBW and KSNT and CJ Online, they're not reporting what I believe is kind of under the fingernails of what's going on in this city. And I really, really detest Karen Hiller's response to me. Well, just go look it up yourself, because she has no duty. I'm a constituent. I'd never vote for that chick or that man, whatever she is. And okay, so I never vote for him or her. I'd never vote for him. And but she's part of the problem. She doesn't understand business. She sat up there so long. And so if I'm being a little childish with, the him or her thing, it goes clear back to her. She's always looked down her nose at me for College Hill. She voted for College Hill. She also voted for the Bark Park. So Karen and I haven't gotten along great as citizens of Topeka, because we're from a different mindset, and maybe different political parties. And so you could always play off my rudeness now. Oh, that Henry, whatever. And I'm human. I make mistakes. Hey, Karen, I'm just learning how to behave. I'm only 10 years clean and sober. It's that emotional maturity that you gain. And those schmucks, they've out there, ooh, Henry's drinking again, because they're gonna find ways to tear me down. But I'll tell you something. I would never trade this life for the life I had prior to May 2nd, 2015. And man, I'm so fortunate. I've got a bunch of listings all over that I need to get off this damn podcast and start promoting. But I also have a bunch of real estate here in town that I gotta, those clients need a fair shake. And, we bought, and me, I was in the deal. I bought land at 37th and Gage because I thought that there would be a road that'd go through it. And I don't know if the city has made sure that road didn't go in the deal or go on because I'm in the deal. And if that was the case, you voters really got screwed, because the very south part of Shawnee County, if they could come up to 41st Street and cut over to Gage, until we get the Auburn, we need an exit somewhere more in Shawnee County, in southwest Shawnee County off the turnpike. And maybe it doesn't fit at Auburn Road. But it would give so much better access to have that road through there for Southwest Topeka. I mean, that's where everybody moved. Look at a map of all the building permits. Everybody wanted to live in, and maybe they didn't want to live in Oakland because it doesn't have sidewalks, gutters. Maybe the infrastructure of Oakland is, which has been overlooked in the years, but maybe we don't need to have Oakland as a quiet neighborhood, and you can walk down the street and you can feel safe. But sometimes we put too much pressure on the developer. And last night, they were just saying it last night. The city puts too much pressure on the developer. They were talking about adding a project at Berkshire Hathaway to clean up the traffic at on 45th Street. They're trying to add a property to the CID. And then Karen did bring up about all the streets that were on the ballot. And I showed her the ballot last night. Just happened to have it handy. You know, we voted for more streets and road projects than we did economic development. So what we're doing, if we just use all the $5 million and put it into our infrastructure and in roads and projects, well, developers can live off of CID, TIF, and RHID, and just let us have it based on the state law. And you don't need to give $9.5 million, which I think is to Cody Foster, for a losing project. And it's just, it's what's wrong with our community. I got work to do. I got deals to make. But I do feel an obligation to the 9,413 people that voted along with me for me. Or they voted against Kevin Cook. And like I said, if your vote was just against Kevin Cook, and if you don't like me, that's okay. I'm on your side because I don't like Kevin Cook either. And poor Kevin. He's probably down. If you ever want to find Kevin, go down to Churchill's over there on 17th. He's always smoking cigars and drinking, smoking those big cigars with the big boys. That's why he's got that Panama hat, Jack. Panama Jack. Henry McClure Live. Oh, and again, tune in Friday. Chad Fay running for mayor, be on the show. So we got Spencer and Chad. And Chad, if you're watching, go down and meet Linnell. I'll text you Linnell and Phyllis's number with the Republican Party. Because if you're choosing a party, go Republican. At least pick a side. An independent is a way of just saying, well, I'm non-committal. Pick a side. Right now, the Republicans, and there are some bad Republicans, I'm telling you. I'm kind of sad. It's sad that with a supermajority in the House and the Senate under the dome, we can't pass some different stuff with property tax. But April, we got a new lieutenant governor in the race. I want to wish her luck. April McCoy, best of luck, baby. Henry McClure Live in Topeka, Kansas. Want to thank Elon Musk, and if you've got a Tesla, better park it in the garage. Not because of me. What maniacs. But that shows you how deranged, and maybe it's just the people are lemmings. Hey, go out and create war, create mayhem for against Elon Musk. He's bad, he's evil. And then they go do it. If there were anything more Hitler-like, it's that. He burned the books. He burned the books because he didn't want people thinking. He also took away their guns. I saw the Babylon Bee had a funny post. Real Nazi wanting some attention because now everybody's a Nazi. That's funny. Hey, if you ever want to ask about what's really going on in Ukraine, ask about the Nazis in Ukraine. But I remain unvaccinated, and unwilling to accept the pablum that the mainstream media and some of the politicians give you. But I'm free. I'm happy, and I'm happy to try to want to make change. And deep down, deep down, when people say that you're just wasting your time trying to change Topeka, I sit back and I think about my own change that I went through on May 2nd, 2015. And the longer time goes on, I become more emotionally mature. And but also at the end of the day, I'm human. So Henry McClure live in Topeka, Kansas. Hey, you need a real estate deal done, you call me. Yeah, I wonder where the KBI is going to go. They don't feel safe down by the they don't feel safe by the hotel in the expo center. Oh boy, you know what's going to really be fun is to see who they let slide into this hotel deal. Well, that'll make a show. Henry McClure live.